Hello and welcome to the third video in the NBA Sports Web video training series covering the Game Officials module. This video we're going to look at how an assigner can use the system to set up their list of officials, and for each of those officials what their qualifications and experience are, as well as some other settings. We'll also show how to set up your supervisors and your coordinators. So within the control panel of the NBA Sports Web demo site here, we're looking at the Game Officials module. And within the Game Officials module, there's a section called Manage Officials. And within that, officials by position, and this would expand to show all the officials that are set up for your sport or for your association if we have customized the positions for your association. Because we're looking at a hockey site, we're looking at the two-man referee, three-man referee, or three-man linesman or timekeeper as the four positions that are available. So to add an official, we can click on the two-man referee to see all the two-man referees who are currently set up in the system. To add a new official, we click the Add a New Official button. And this will ask us for an email address. The reason it does that is because there are cases when a coach or a manager who already has access to the website will have been set up as a team webmaster, and if they're also an official, then we need to use their existing account to add the official role and their positions to their existing login. So if I were to type an email address in here and hit continue, it will then tell me if it's already found an existing user in the site. And the reason we would know that is if the username box has the information in it. If it does, that means we already have an account for this person. The real name has already been filled in and their email address from what we typed in before. We can add additional information now to their account, and now that we're going to set them up as an official. The only other thing that's required is the city/town and the home phone number for an official. If you plan on using the system to produce your paysheet reports, and include with that paysheet report might be the printout of their assignments, that paysheet report does have the ability to include their mailing address, and it's placed in on the screen in a location where if that regular size paper were to be folded and placed into a windowed envelope, the address would show up in that window. So if you do put an address in here, you can use it if you're using that feature. If not, you just need to put in the city, town, and a home phone number. This could be their cell phone, but whatever their primary phone number is for that official. Now, in addition, the system allows you to specify a birth date for each official. Now, if you do that, then you can apply minimum age requirements for certain positions. This is not required. By default, it will set everybody up with January 1st of 1900 for their birth date. Now also, when setting up an official, we can then choose what positions they are going to be allowed to be assigned to games as. So in the case of hockey, we can set up an official as a two-man referee, and that's it. There might be situations where somebody might be a level 3 certified official, but perhaps they, for whatever reason, are unable or unwilling to referee some of the higher level games as a three-man referee, but are okay to be a three-man linesman. So you can choose to check off just the positions that you would like them to be in. Even if they are technically qualified to be a position, you can exclude them from being available for those positions. Within each of those qualifications, you can also apply an experience level. And this is sort of like a secondary sort to indicate the general level of experience they have for their qualification. So for example, you can set up certain teams to require level 3 certified officials, but also level 3 certified officials who are above average in experience. And this will allow any of the level 3 certifieds who are sort of newer to not be available for those games, even though they are technically qualified. Now for each of these positions, you can set what the default mileage that would be paid for those officials if you are paying mileage. And this is based on the assumption that we know where those officials live and the majority of the games are being hosted in a common location. If it's a regional center and the games are taking place all over the place, then you won't be able to use that mileage to get an accurate result most of the time. Lastly, we have these assigner notes that are available. These notes are visible only to the assigner from within the Game Officials module. You can use them to indicate preferences for the officials. So perhaps they have a brother or a parent or a son, and they like to be paired up with those people. So you can just jot in the notes of the official, in that case, whatever positions they've been assigned to. And when you're assigning officials, those notes would be available for you to quickly look and see. Now, for some positions, we may not be storing qualification levels because there are none. In that case, there's only experience levels, and just use those as they're available. The last thing we'll point out here is that there's 4 check boxes when setting up a new official. So if you need to create somebody who's not actually a referee at all, but in fact is just a supervisor, then you can certainly set that up and just check off the supervisor role. They can be both, so if they're the referee and a supervisor, they can have everything checked off. The coordinator role as well, if you want to have your emergency contact set up as a coordinator. Again, these are not, they can be exclusive of each other, so they can be just the coordinator, nothing else, that's fine. And then these last 2 checkbox, preferred or inactive, these don't actually limit the visibility of the officials as far as them being available. What they do is they will color code your officials when you're assigning them. So preferred would indicate that they are green when they show up in the list, and that might be a hint to say that they are available, or if they've got cross governing body certifications or things like that, you can use this preferred box for whatever you want. Basically, it just turns them green in the list, and similarly, inactive would turn them red in the list. Now, because we found an existing user in the system, all we're going to be doing is updating their profile if we were to update this information. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. In this case, we're going to do add new official, and we'll do an email address that we know doesn't exist. And hit continue. And just to give you an idea, the difference is now that the username is not filled in, so we're going to type in the username. You can leave the password as the default password. Type in their real name. And instead of an update button at the bottom, we'll have insert, and we'll have insert and notify. So the insert button just adds them to the site. Insert notify will add them to the site, and it will also automatically email this email address that you've set up for that person with their username and password that you've set up for them, as well as the address back to the website. Now, lastly, we'll show that if you need to change anybody, so if the first person on the list here is now all of a sudden a level 5 registered and an above average at that level, then you can edit that person and make those changes as needed and click update. And lastly, if you want to eliminate somebody from a position, then you can click the trash can icon, and that will just eliminate them from this position. If you want to eliminate them from all positions, then what you should do is double click on them and uncheck all of their position boxes at the same time. Now, if this person was, this happened to be the last position that they were in, then that would also be removing them as an official entirely. It kind of depends on how many positions they've been assigned as. But the safest way to do it is to double click on them and to uncheck those boxes so that they're no longer available as an official within those positions.